Welcome to Quack&Co, the channel where every video is 10 minutes or less guaranteed, and today we're taking a first look at Encyclopedia from Holy Grail Games. Now, just so you know, the chaos that you have in front of us here is going to be about a mid to late game setup. We just got finished filming a full 3-player gameplay, and if you swing over to Board Game Co., you're going to be able to check out his full in-depth review as he's played through almost, or I believe, every single style of this game. That includes solo mode all the way up to 4 players. Now, this won't be available on Kickstarter right away when you're watching this video. In fact, we're probably still a little bit out from when it's going to go live, but we're so excited about exactly what this game is doing that I wanted to give you all the first chance and the first sneak peek to see exactly why Board Game Co. and Quack&Co are, well, thrilled to be covering Encyclopedia. So, let's go ahead and break down this game and establish exactly what you're doing here so that you all will be more prepared to tell everyone why this game should be on their radars. Encyclopedia is going to be a interesting sort of marketplace assigning dice allocation game. So at the start of your turn, you're going to roll 4 dice just like I did, and then you're going to assign them to the top of your board. These dice will be the actions that you can take throughout the course of the game in all these different dice or worker placement locations. Those locations will deal with you collecting sets and pairs, doing research, getting assistance, and then slowly turning in that research in order to gain victory points towards the end game. It's a classic Euro in the sense that you're doing everything you can to be as efficient as possible, to work with whatever mitigated randomness there is with the dice rolling, which actually is a whole lot less than you'd ever assume with dice rolling, so that you can get as many points as you can at the end of the game. Now, you score points from a variety of things, from late game end cards to a ton of points from similar colors and sets, along with matching icons and regions that you've explored, or the research that you've done, and then finally you gain a lot of sets while you actually do the exploration itself, which I'll walk through how each of those locations work in just a moment. But at the start of your turn, you're going to go ahead and roll the dice and set them along the top banner of your board. These dice are going to be the workers that you place, but you're not just going to be able to place yours. In fact, there's a marketplace where you're going to be able to take the dice from everyone else's board as well, giving you access to some more powerful abilities or more powerful actions or certain colors of dice, but you're also going to be giving your opponents a benefit, 3 points, 2 stars, 2 coins, depending on what dice you take and where they've placed it on their board. So there's this give and take. You're always sort of popping back and forth, trying to get access to the best abilities, the best effects, the best dice, but also trying to maybe limit how many benefits you're giving to everyone around you, or trying to price your dice in a way that is going to result in the best result for you. So, what are you doing with these dice when you collect them? Well, there's going to be a few different regions that you can go and assign your dice. Up here in the top is going to give you 5 coins and establish first player. Over here is going to give you 3 of these exploration tokens. Now, these tokens work as dice mitigation. They either add a total of 2 pips to your dice when you're exploring in this region, which is important because you need as many pips as possible to do successful research actions, or they're going to act as a color change token to go ahead and swap the color of a die when you select it, because sometimes, like I said, you'll be in a position where you have to take a die that is less preferable to you, but in order to do that, you can also have some things that manipulate those dice, giving them extra pips going up and down, or of course, modifying the color that they are. Across this top bar here is not going to be a worker placement zone. That's going to be every single round you'll get a benefit as a player, corresponding to the different regions here on the board. You're going to play through a total of 6 rounds in the game. This worker placement zone here is going to be where you're going to be gaining your research assistance. These cards are going to have both in-game and late-game positive benefits and point scoring. You're trying to not only get colors to color match with your card sets to get a multiplier based off how many you have, but also get whatever is efficient at getting you as many stars or points or coins or endgame points as possible. Down here is where we're going to be collecting the different specimens that you're researching. You're observing the different animals. You'll have a variety of animal cards in here. Of course, you need to match the color of the card you're taking, but then on top of that, depending on the number of die you place in that location, you'll get a bonus star. The stars are going to be a little growth track here on your board that continues to circle around that just has escalating benefits that you get to take as you play the game. If you're noticing a theme of one benefit popping into another benefit, popping into another benefit, yes, that is exactly what this game does. It's just escalating rewards across the duration of play. This is going to be our explore location. In this location, you're going to be placing a die in the corresponding matching color, taking whatever star benefit or pip benefit is related, depending on where on this track you've placed it, and then resolving a research action on our cards, which I'll explain right now, because in this location, you'll be taking those research actions that you've done and you'll be cataloging them, meaning you're going to be getting the final victory points and also establishing another set of set collection down here on the bottom area. So, for instance, here with the turtle, we have the snake trait, the grass trait, the field trait, and the rain trait. Now, when I go down to this location, as long as I've went to this blue location, because it's a blue turtle, I am able to research or pay the cost in pips of any of those locations, because what I want to do is I want to establish one species as the dominant species and then have everything I research below it correspond. For instance, you can see here this next turtle that I have corresponds on 3 out of the 4 traits, and the next snake that I have here is going to correspond on 2 out of those 3, or actually 3 out of those 3 traits, because it also has the rain here at the end. Or the salamander here is going to correspond on 2 out of the 3 traits, all relating back up to that top creature. When I get down here to this location, depending on where and how many cubes I've placed on my different creatures, I will be able to take those cubes and transfer them over into these point scoring areas, showing that I've done a set or a collection of research on that one specific trait. But all those traits that I research have to match the very first animal that I established, meaning that if I had only researched the salamander, I would not be able to score grass or field, but I could go ahead and score snake and rain. It's a bit of a balancing act, and you're never locked in until you decide to actually go perform your research, but you're definitely planning throughout the course of the game how and what animals can I pair together in a way that lets me cash in as many victory points as possible, and then how do I go through the sequence of unlocking, performing research, and then categorizing or logging that research. So that's the main structure of this game. Like I said, at the start of every round, you're going to get a round benefit. Then you're going to roll your dice, establishing a marketplace. Take those dice. You'll get 4 actions every round. Place them down on the board in one of these various locations in order to gain researchers that are going to help you get animals. The animals are then going to be explored, or you're going to do discovery on them so that you can gain experience on different traits. Those traits are going to be applied down here for a giant set collection cacophony at the end of the game, where you've scored points for the research that you've done, the sets of research that you've done, the animals that you've collected, the sets of different researchers or assistants that you've collected, in this whole glorious sort of mess of a game that really thrills on escalation, where every single thing you do pops into another ability and mechanic and upgrade and level. And I think I'm at my time. So while I could go on for another 10 or 15 minutes talking about Encyclopedia, I think I'm going to save that for the gameplay and, of course, over on Board Game Co. for the full breakdown and review. So thank you for being here, and have a good one.